1734, March 8, 2026, right now marks 2,165 hours of progress on the global heart simulation. Currently, some progress has been made on the 3D fog of war system, in that objects can be masked using voxels now. And so basically the way this works is that a voxel grid is created around the level, and then it's filtered to areas where objects are detected, and then basically in order to determine which points should be masked, every object has a low resolution version of itself, and then that is sort of used to determine what points should be masked. So there are level voxels, and then there's the actual scene voxels, and the way the scene voxels are being drawn isn't actually with any sort of textures or shaders at the moment, although compute shaders are used to filter voxels. This is basically being done with a simple gizmo draw cube with a dot cube. And currently there does appear to be an edge case over here in which this cylinder is not being masked properly. And going to the debug view, it sort of shows that the level grid is not entirely overlapping the object, although that should have been fixed by the low resolution version of the object. And as a demonstration of that, the low resolution version of every object is also created using voxels. So there's level voxels, and then there's per object voxels, and basically the per object voxels find the closest voxel within the level grid and sort of indicate that voxel to be masked. But apparently the system is not working entirely as intended, as the level grid does not completely mask the object at those points. And so looking into it further, a sort of temporary solution for that could be to lower or actually increase the voxel density by lowering their scale to a smaller multiplier, which creates smaller voxels on every object. So the level voxels stay the same size, but the per object voxels become smaller, which creates a greater volume of individual voxels. And so that does increase the masking more, but the intention is for the fog of war system to completely mask objects. So as a long-term solution, it would seem that the per object voxel set needs to be done away with and just access the mesh data directly in order to determine which points should be obscured. So the low resolution version of the object does seem good, but it's not perfect. So the best step moving forward seems to be accessing mesh data directly and then comparing that to the voxel grid, rather than having this middle manager low resolution voxelized version of objects. And so the intention going forward is to implement that into the three-dimensional fog of war system